On this week's show, Ghael Fobes interviews Wes Brooks and James Kesilman to bring an update on campus-wide construction. We're also sharing highlights from the Winter Jazz Concert. From the studios inside the Lawrenceville School's historic Pop Hall, this is L10 with Alex Small. Hello and welcome to this week's show. This past Friday night, the Lawrenceville community held its annual Red and White Night. There was a variety of activities and performances, as well as the introduction to the 2016-2017 boys and girls varsity basketball teams. Two major music events are happening in advance of winter break. On Sunday, Orchestra Vespers will take place at the Kirby Arts Center, and next Wednesday, Christmas lessons and carols will be held at the chapel. On Monday, Director of Social Innovation at Penn State's Bennett Pierce Prevention Research Center, and my mother, Meg Small, will be speaking in the Healy Room. Small's talk will focus on social change and the Syrian refugee crisis. The Trenton Times has given Laurentians two prominent athletic awards. Second former Ashley Warren has won the Trenton Times Volleyball Player of the Year, and the girls' varsity field hockey squad was chosen as Team of the Year. Congratulations to Ashley and to the entire field hockey team. This week, 5 students and several faculty members are attending the 2016 National Association of Independent Schools Student Diversity Leadership Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. The NAS describes the event as a multiracial, multicultural gathering of upper school student leaders, focusing on self-reflecting, forming allies, and building community. Two important charity events took place this week. The Dumplings for Dreams Club held a book drive to raise money for impoverished communities in China. Also, the Women in Leadership at Lawrenceville Club, along with the Stanley and Stevens House, combined to raise over $1,400 in support of Women's Space, a local nonprofit supporting individuals and families impacted by domestic and sexual violence. Over the past several years, multiple construction initiatives have transformed and modernized Lawrenceville's campus. The man who has overseen a majority of these projects is the school's Chief Financial Officer and alumnus Wes Brooks. Our anchor Ghael Fobes had the opportunity to interview him, as well as Gary Giberson, the president of Sustainable Fare, the school's food provider, and James Kesilman, associate project manager.
So when you look at a campus like this, you try, at least I did, try to see what the spaces ask for. And the layout of Olmsted Circle is clearly curvilinear. Mm-hmm. The bowl is rectilinear. The bowl needs straight paths. But this area and the crescent are not rectilinear. Mm-hmm. So I felt that the flow of the circle would be much better reflected to create and capture the curvilinear space that it surrounds.
Yeah. Do you think the paths themselves probably, can they do something to like the community aspect of school, or like what do you think they can do to sort of student life as a whole?
Well, I've noticed in many campuses when they cross spaces, the lines of foot traffic are called desire lines, mm-hmm. and desire lines are where kids desire to flow. But if you can bend kids away from those desire lines, you can actually capture open space. Mm-hmm. So I foresee frisbee, soccer, volleyball out here, yeah. Instead of having asphalt run across the paths and ruin the play space. So I love the view and the comprehensiveness of it and the wide open green, much like the circle. And the crescent now has its own equivalent space for fun.
Now, you've overseen a lot of different projects at Lawrenceville. You've seen Pop Hall sort of be re-gutted and redesigned. You've seen a redesign of MEM and the creation of the math building. What specific project do you think you're the most proud of?
Good question. I think I like both the bathhouse and the future Abbott, mm-hmm. because they both bring out the fun in being a teenager. Mm-hmm. The bathhouse is colorful. It evokes house spirit. It's positioned beautifully between, just accidentally, between the girls' crescent and the boys' circle. Likewise, Abbott's going to be full of house spirit and architectural features that draw on what the school has. So the beams will be from the chapel, and the arch windows are from upper, and the tower is from MEM. I guess my philosophy became, I want to help make Lawrenceville look more like Lawrenceville. The circle's a national landmark, mm-hmm. So why run away from that architecture? It's a campus that's the right scale for kids, and the beauty, the aesthetic is right here in our faces. We've taken really good care of it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's, for a school that's commonly ranked in the top 5 in the nation and is world renowned, mm-hmm. we should have a campus that is great for kids.
So you have just undergone the complete gutting of Abbott. What do you think are going to be some of the coolest features that we're going to see?
What you're going to see in Abbott is a much grander dining hall. than used to be there. The roof, which was already high, is actually going to go up another 20 feet higher. So when you walk into the room, you'll feel a sense of space in there. There's going to be a brand new conference room right here where used to be the HR department. And in the dining hall itself, you can broadcast or watch movies or have AV for dances, a lot of different new technology that'll be in Abbott. So the back entrance of Abbott, which will have a patio, it used to just be a glass wall from the 1960s building. It now will echo the front of Upper House with arched windows and matching brick, and it'll really feel like it's more part of the campus than it used to feel. Abbott was an old building, and we didn't have any existing drawings for the building. So we weren't able to see the challenges that were behind the wall. So it wasn't until we actually got out here and started tearing down the walls that we knew exact dimensions and where structural beams were and structural columns. So we learned a lot as we were going that it would have been helpful to know beforehand, but the records just don't exist anymore. That was probably our biggest challenge.
So the last time I spoke to you, we were inside of the bathhouse as that was being completely renovated and completely gutted, and a lot of those same sort of older pieces of the architecture were preserved. Are there any parts of the past Abbott that are being preserved, or is it mostly sort of the addition of new things?
The layout is about the same. There's no new additions to speak of. There are going to be some new dining booths on the window wall side. But in general, when you walk into Abbott, you'll know your way around because it'll be the same as it used to be. But it'll look a lot different and feel a lot more grand. Something new that'll be in the dining hall are 2 fireplaces at either end that'll really give a homey feel when you're in there. We're trying our best to be ready for school year of 17. That's what we're working on.
On top of Abbott, we are starting to hear some rumblings about Irwin. I know there are probably no concrete plans yet, but any hopes for what Irwin may look like if we see a renovation there in the future?
I think you'll need to check with Headmaster Murray on that. He's got a vision working that he comes from a world where the entire school can break bread together, and that's something that he misses, even though he fully respects and appreciates the house structure of Irwin presently. So he's looking at options to somehow cause the dining center to bleed into the field house if there are opportunities for synergy that way. So those are some of the kind of concepts that are being explored, but it's very early days.
Last Sunday, students performed in the Winter Jazz Concert. Here are a few highlights from the event. That is our show for Friday, December 9th. From all of us here at L10, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful Christmas break.